Welcome back. I'm glad to see that you have survived through the first three of this course videos. And now I'm going to take a few minutes here to talk about the three textbooks that you see listed on the syllabus. You may want to get your syllabus back open again and go to the first page, and you'll be able to see the listings for the three textbooks. Let me now discuss them in some detail. The main textbook you need is this one, Classical Mythology, Images and Insights by Harris and Platzner. This is your main textbook for the course. I'm sorry that it is the most expensive of the group, but nonetheless, it has just about everything that you need. There are translations of the particular works that you're going to be reading. For instance, here is the one on Homer's Iliad, right here. It may not be easy to see in the video, but you can see it. And each of these is provided at the end of the chapter that discusses that author and that work. So I'm going to say that principally when you're doing your reading, make sure especially that you read the ancient works. I realize that with a very difficult schedule, it may be hard to read every single thing in this book. So if you're finding yourself pressed for time, at the minimum, make certain that you are reading the ancient works, because those are the ones you're going to be tested on. And again, those are always found at the ends of the chapters. Then at the end of each chapter as well are the discussion questions that are assigned for the daily work. I'll show you an example again. Here it is. And you can see that, again, these come at the ends of the chapters. So again, for each chapter that is assigned for that particular day, you're responsible for only one question of each of those of your choice. So as long as you write a question for each chapter that was assigned for that day and submit that on time, then you're going to be fine. And of course, make sure, as always, that you sign in at the forum each day you're there, so that I'll know that you were there and that I can check you off as having attended the class that day. So here is the main textbook you need, Classical Mythology. There are two other textbooks that are also required for the course. They are not going to be discussed as frequently, but they will nonetheless be prominent. One of them is The Uses of Greek Mythology. This is by a man named Ken Dowden. This gives an alternative background on Greek mythology scholarship. Especially important is Chapter 2, which, as it happens, mirrors Chapter 2 in your Harris Platzner textbook, talking about alternative methodologies for interpreting Greek mythology. It's nice to go through this because he sometimes has a rather sly wit to him and has a rather nice sense of humor. So it's good to read this to show that different scholars, very learned in the fields, can have somewhat different points of view about the subject. So also this can give you some additional information for your essays. And there's a couple of spots that are key in here that give you some additional information about some of the later authors we're going to be describing. The other book, I'm sorry to say I don't have with me today, but the work is the Greek library, Apollodorus. Apollodorus is not actually his name. We do not know the name, so we use that. But it's called the Library of Greek Mythology, and this is a rather dry summary of all the Greek myths that we have collected from the ancient Greek mythology corpus. And it summarizes them, as I say, in rather dry style. And it gives lots and lots of information, sometimes more than we would like. For instance, over 40 names of nymphs who were daughters of some particular deity. That's a little much for most of us, admittedly. But it nonetheless does fill a lot of gaps. So the pages that are given to you on the syllabus for Apollodorus are the ones that are relevant for the main readings you're doing in your Harris Platzner textbook. So be sure that you do look at those, because sometimes those pages will fill in gaps that you need in order to be able to understand the story. Because at the very beginning of Homer's Iliad, you get, "Sing, O daughter of the wrath of Achilles, son of Atreus." And if you have no idea who Achilles is, and you don't understand that it has to do with the Trojan War, and you don't know what that is, then that opening line doesn't make very much sense. So it's good to read the Apollodorus to have some of that background, so that when you read the main text, you will understand things better. That's it for the textbooks. The last thing we have to talk about today are the two exams. So check back in here right away for that last video for today, and you'll finally have your first day all squared away for this course. Okay, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.